Are you looking to impale your foes with a rain of arrows? Do you want a bow build with an explosive edge? Then let me introduce you to the Ranger. The Ranger is a bow build that allows you to output high thrust damage from both range and melee through use of a bow and a spear. It provides a good mix of AoE and single target damage and gives you the feeling of playing a Ranger class. So what makes the Ranger? We start with a bow. For our perks, we are using Vicious, Frost Attunement, and Penetrating Rapid Shot. Penetrating Rapid Shot causes Rapid Shot to have 35% armor penetration. This is especially useful on bosses, where we will be spamming this skill. For our second weapon, we will be using a spear. For our perks, we are using Vicious, Keenly Empowered, and Enfeebling Skewer. Enfeebling Skewer causes Skewer to apply a massive 47% weaken. This is huge. Having someone using a spear with this perk is almost mandatory for most M3 groups. For our armor, we are in a light equip load. For our helm, chest, gloves, and feet, we are using the perks Health, Refreshing, and Enchanted Ward. For our legs, we are using the artifact Attuned Leather Pants. Attuned Leather Pants' unique perk, while rounded, gives us plus 10 to all attributes. It also comes with 40 Magnify attributes. These extra attributes allow us to hit extra attribute threshold bonuses. Attuned Leather Pants comes with Refreshing and Elemental Aversion. For the final perk, we have added Health. This gives us 5 health, 4 Enchanted Ward, and 5 Refreshing. As this puts us over the Refreshing cap of 4, one of the Refreshing perks can be changed to something else. For our amulet, we are using Health and an Elemental Protection perk that matches the element of the mutation we are doing. For the ring, we are using Hearty, Thrust Damage, and Leeching. This will boost damage on both weapons as they both deal thrust damage. For the earring, we are using Refreshing Toast, Nimble, and Healing Heart. For the attributes, we are using 150 Strength, 426 Dex, 25 Int, 25 Focus, and 50 Con. As the bow only scales with Dex, we put the majority of our attribute points into Dex. Our spear, however, scales with both Dex and Strength. We therefore also want some points in Strength. The Strength attribute threshold bonuses of plus 5% damage to light attacks, plus 10% damage to heavy attacks, and plus 10% to physical damage will also boost our bow damage. 25 Int provides plus 5% damage to crits, and 25 Focus reduces cooldowns by 5%. Thanks to Attuned Leather Pants, we only need 10 attribute points in each. 50 Con provides us with plus 10% to physical armor. As we are in a DPS role, a low amount of Con is usually expected. For our skills, on the bow, we are using Rain of Arrow, Explosive Arrow, and Rapid Shot. Rain of Arrow provides AoE damage, bleed, and slow. Explosive Arrow provides AoE damage and burn. Rapid Arrow provides single target damage. For our skills on the spear, we are using Sweep, Perforate, and Skewer. Sweep provides knockdown and damage. Perforate provides damage, rend, and weaken. Skewer provides damage, bleed, weaken, and empower. The main combo will be to use Rain of Arrows and Explosive Arrow on groups of enemies, then move in with the spear and use Skewer, Perforate and Sweep. This will allow the ongoing bleed and burn damage from the bow skills to continue to damage whilst attacking with the spear. It is important to note that whilst we can attack from range, we need to wait until our tank has taunted and got aggro before attacking. When fighting groups of enemies, it is important to not simply stay back and only use bow light attacks, as this provides very low DPS. The bow should just be used for the AoE skills as an opener, and for the majority of the fight, we should be using a spear. When it comes to some solo enemies and bosses however, we change things up. There are some bosses that can be tricky to fight in melee, and a ranged option can be more beneficial. Examples of this are the bosses in Empyrean Forge, Savage Divide, and Glacial Tarn. For these, we play the majority of the fight with a bow and attack from range. Rapid Arrow shines here, outputting high single target damage. Once an enemy is below 50% health, this skill refreshes upon use, so it can be spammed. Let's now take a look at some of the pros and the cons of the build. Starting off with the pros. Strong versus Corrupted and Beasts. The Corrupted take 20% extra damage from thrust, and Beasts take 15% extra damage. As both our weapons deal thrust damage, this build is especially effective versus these enemy types. Strong debuffs. Through use of the spear, this build applies high weaken and rend. Feels like a ranger. Through use of a bow and a spear, this build gives you the feeling of playing a classic ranger class. Versatility. As we are using a ranged weapon and a melee weapon, this build offers the versatility to fight a target as we see fit. Now let's take a look at some of the cons of the build. Low survivability. As with most DPS builds, as we are using low con and light armor, we have low survivability. Being accepted to M3 groups. You may find it hard to be accepted into Pug M3 groups with a bow. There is a certain stigma about use of bows in M3s, with many believing they deal less damage than alternatives. That's it for the video. If you have any questions about the build, drop a comment below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.